how much of a guide are you using for the secret ending? So I have used a tiny bit of a guide. It's actually less specific than you think. The biggest part of the Johnny thing is you have to treat him really well. Like, you have to agree with him a lot, which I didn't do a ton at the start of the playthrough, but I've definitely done a lot more as we've gone through the playthrough. Because the really, really critical part is that you do a very specific set of responses to him during the mission Chippin' In. Wait, are we on Chippin' In? This might be an extended part, Chippin' In. I was holding on. So yeah, so Chippin' In is where you go and you go with Rogue and you attempt to go take out Atom Smasher, but he's not there. Just his colleague or whatever, the dude from Arasaka working with him. So basically, you go through that whole mission. You drive out after this dude tells you, oh yeah, we dumped Johnny's body up in those oil fields. He tells you where to go and like how to get there. And then you drive up there with Johnny, and there's this heart-to-heart moment you have with him there, hovering over these like tin cans that are, you know, supposed to be, at the very least, it's like implied like, hey, this is a grave of a kind, if only in like symbolism for him. And there's like a set of different responses you give there, and that's the part where it's like, that is really important. And then the scene right after Act 3, where you sit down with him in a motel on the edge of Pacifica, and he asks, when we're going through this, imagine that we're two buddies at war. Would you take a bullet for me? You have to tell him, yes, I would take a bullet for you. And then during that graveyard scene, you have a whole bunch of responses you have to do, and you have to take Rogue out on a date afterward. And then I think you need to get this center category here to at least 60%, which Carrie's quest line in addition should do. It's not as difficult though as some people think. It's just that there are those two really, really specific dialogue options you have to select. And I know that the one in the oil fields is the most critical one. Like, those you have to be really, really careful about how you answer. So I did use a guide for that. We passed that part. We've saved that. We're good there. So going forward now, we should just be able to unlock it once we get this percentage up to 60%, which is where Carrie's going to come in with us here.